Wake up, Canada. This goes further than politics. The Liberal Party of Canada is literally a demonic party at this point. The punishment for CP, ruining young children's lives, the most disgusting crime, and the people who make the market for the most disgusting crime you could commit. Minimum 1 year sentence was just banned in Canada. 5-4 decision by the Supreme Court, and guess who the 5 decision makers were who voted against a mandatory 1 year prison sentence when these guys should be buried underneath of jails? The 5 appointees of Justin Trudeau, all 4 appointees of Stephen Harper, of course, voted against a mandatory, lowering the mandatory minimum sentence for CP to 1 year. Trudeau, all 5 voted yes. Canada has become a safe haven for violent criminals, child sex predators, people who are running away from crimes they've committed in other countries. The Canadian government itself has admitted that they have admitted at least 18,000 convicted criminals into the country in the last 5 years alone. We've now already allowed 1.9 million more immigrants in the country. When are Canadians going to wake up? These people want to see us suffer. They are sociopathic liars who want to see us suffer. Justin Trudeau, the man who has a wife and kids, the famous DJ Diplo, just came out, sent out pictures, says, I hooked up with that guy a bunch when I was in Montreal. Mark Carney, the bug-eyed creep, who has all those pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell for some reason, the most notorious sex trafficker in American history. Do you think that's just some coincidence that he has pictures with the most notorious sex trafficker in American history? This is not just about politics. This is not just in Canada. This is not just about liberal versus conservative. The laws that we are now seeing the Liberal Party of Canada enacting, the way that they are acting, reducing mandatory minimum sentences for the worst criminals on earth. Look at, you see now crackheads all over in Canada, all over the place, due to so-called safe supply laws. This has gone so far beyond politics. This is a demonic group in the Liberal Party of Canada that they get joy out of seeing the destruction of this beautiful country. There's no other way to describe a Canadian economy that the real world unemployment rate is probably 10%. 1 in 4 young men are unemployed. And we have incredible natural resources that countries are begging us for time and time and time again. But the Liberal Party of Canada, every single policy they have makes life more difficult for working Canadians and easier for criminals. There's no other way to describe what's going on in Canada right now than a battle of good versus evil. Just look at the Liberal leaders of the Liberal Party, whether it be Anita Anand, who goes wild cheering for Hamas at the UN. Mark Carney, who's getting himself rich as hell. Brookfield Asset Management is up over 45% since he was elected. He has investments in over 600 companies. The average they're up is something like 47%. It's insane. Meanwhile, $63 billion in investment have fled Canada since Carney was elected. We're now officially in a recession. GDP dropped 1.6% in his first quarter, dropped again in his second quarter, officially in a recession. We continue to bring in millions of people every year, despite the fact there is a horrible housing crisis in Canada. People cannot afford to live. Rents are up like crazy. To live in crappy areas with crackheads all over the place in a 400 square foot apartment is $2,000 a month. Canadians cannot afford to live. Yet they continue to invite millions of people into the country every year when they know it's going to make life more expensive for everyday Canadians. The proof is in the pudding more and more again. These are not just people in the Liberal Party of Canada who are making policy mistakes. These are people who derive joy out of your pain. They love it. They love it. It's a sickness. It's a sickness, but it's never been clear. Trudeau lies about his sexuality. Trudeau lies about everything, whether it be the SNC-Lavalin scandal, the We Charity scandal, the Arrive Can app scandal, the Great Point Academy scandal, the Green Slush Fund scandal. There's too many scandals to even go through. But the man he loves the fact that he destroyed Canada. And also, I don't care that the man is gay. It's just he's a sociopathic liar. sociopathic liar. Everything about that guy was so obvious. A malignant, narcissist, sociopathic liar. And now we have Mark Carney. Just look at this man's eyes. This man's bug-eyed, dead eyes. Absolutely no life in him. All he cares about is making himself as wealthy as possible. And look into Tavistock, the gender reassignment facility that he sent his own child to, that has now been shut down. It's been shut down because of the caste study in England that brought in serious questions about this facility. And I don't even like touching on this topic, but one of the most disturbing trends in Canada is even in the most liberal countries around the world, they have banned puberty blockers and sex hormones until children hit 18, because there's now so much research coming out that says a lot of this trans research is total bunk crap. They're screwing with the most vulnerable. You know, they're evil people when they're screwing with the most vulnerable, youngest people. Even in the most liberal cities across Europe, they have banned these powerful sex hormones that make inalterable changes to a young person's body. They have banned them across the UK. They banned them in Finland. They banned them in Sweden. Guess where the only country that they're not banned for 14-year-olds is? Every other country they're banned until you hit 18. You can get them as young as these sex hormones and puberty blockers that make inalterable changes to who you are, your body. We dole them out in Canada at 14 years old. 14 years old. Gender reassignment surgeries is 16. We have the most liberal trans policies in the world. When are people going to open their eyes to the fact that the liberals get sick joy out of this? They love destroying this country. They hate Canada. They hate the West. They hate the people that live there. That's why they don't even track the numbers for MAID anymore. The most recent numbers, when MAID was started, medical assistance in dying, where they're killing Canadians off, recommending it to Canadian veterans, it started at 1,000 in 2015. It's up to now. The most recent numbers you can get in 2023 is 15,000 Canadians died of MAID, including many in their 20s and 30s. I've read their stories. Now they're estimating you can't even get numbers for 2024 yet, or 2025, obviously. It's disgusting. You don't hide numbers like that unless you're hiding something. It is estimated that in 2025, it may well be 60,000 Canadians are now dying from medical assisted dying. So they give sex hormones to 14-year-olds. They lie about their sexuality like you wouldn't believe. They encourage Canadians killing themselves, 60,000 a year. They destroy our economy. How the hell else would you describe that than demonic? There's no other way to describe that than demonic. Please like, share, subscribe, join, become a member. Help me spread this message. Really appreciate it. Donate it, grab some gear. Help spread the fight for Canada word. I know this budget's going to be a shit show, but let's keep calling these fucking creeps out.